Welcome to the Inject Creativity Live Chat Show. This 30-minute webinar is live on YouTube, Twitter and Facebook. And your comments and questions via these platforms are most welcome. Please keep them kind and respectful. Following this event, you are welcome to join us via the Blue Jeans online conferencing app for a 1-hour NESA-accredited workshop with our guest presenter via bit.ly/adobe-drk-online. Now, here's your host, Dr. Tim Kitchen.
It is great to be here live with you on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. And I know that intro may have confused some of you because this isn't actually the Inject Creativity Chat Show. We just wanted to trial this start for next week, which will be the chat show. And we're doing a bit of a trial run with our AELs and our ACLs on this catch-up event. So welcome all the AELs and ACLs who are with us live at the moment. And there's only about 10 at the moment who are with us live, but I'm sure lots will be watching the recording. And I'm looking at a monitor on my left and I can see we are live on Twitter, we are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube. It is actually working, which is really exciting. I'd like to introduce a few people who are with us for this chat show version of the catch up. And of course, everybody knows Jerry Wong. Everyone say hi to Jerry. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Good evening.
And Jerry, for those who don't know you that well, let's bring up your banner because we can. There we go. And tell us what you do at Adobe, Jerry.
Great. Okay. Well, hi. I am a customer success manager working at Adobe. I've been with Adobe now for just over 4 years. And my role pretty much is to make sure that you get the best out of your Adobe tools. So looking forward to connecting with you at some stage.
Terrific. Thanks, mate. And we've got another special guest who's going to be one of our presenters at our Inject Creativity event this evening, and that is Alwyn Hunt. Everyone say hi to Alwyn. Hi, Alwyn.
Hey! Hi, guys. Yeah, good. Excellent.
Good. Tell us what you do.
Quick introduction. I'm a strategic business development for the 3D and immersive division at Adobe. I have a background in visual effects. I'm passionate about 3D. I love everything about it. Worked on some big movies in the past, Hobbits, Harry Potter's, Iron Man's, and all the rest of it. So I'm really excited to do a little session tonight on a cool and fun little app called Mixamo.
It's going to be awesome. I've seen Mixamo in action. I've seen you in action, and it's going to be very entertaining. And just in time, we do have another presenter with us for tonight. I'd like you all to welcome Joel Aarons, Adobe Education Leader from Victoria. Hey, Joel, how you going?
Hi, everyone. Really good. Very tired. It's been a long day, but very good. Thanks.
Well, of course, you're back to, a mixture of face-to-face and online at this stage. So tell us what's happening in Victoria.
Well, we just started this week back to face-to-face learning for foundation to year 2. So in our case, we're a fairly small medium school. So we've got about 450 odd students. So there's probably about 150 to 200 kids coming to school, which is very manageable, I have to say. But as a specialist teacher, I do teach all the classes. So I'm sort of doing half face-to-face and the rest of the time I'm doing still online learning with the older kids. And that's how it's going to be until all the kids get back in a couple of weeks.
And are you doing all that from school?
Yes, doing it all from school.
There you go. Well, it's an exhausting time. And I know I interviewed you a couple of weeks ago to see how you're going on our EduChat show. And you've been doing an awesome job. Tell us, Joel, what have you got planned for us this evening?
Well, I'm going to do a demo of InDesign, which is one of those apps that I think a lot of people are a little scared of. And I know that I was when I first started playing around with it. And I'm going to show you a couple of ways that I've introduced it to primary school students, so year 5, year 6 students who are, I guess, from 10 years old onwards, and looking at some basic graphic design and how I do it, how I go about that.
That's going to be awesome. We had a great session on InDesign yesterday with Michael Turner, with just about every teacher from the Fairfield High School in New South Wales. And that was amazing, and he did a great job, and I learned a lot. What I love is when you guys present stuff and I'm learning new things, and I'm sure that'll be the case today too, Joe. I'm not putting any pressure on you, but I'm sure it will be. Now, we do have another presenter with us who's just joined us, and I would like everyone to welcome Simon Scales from CDW. Everyone say hi to Simon.
Hey, hey.
How's it going?
How are you, Simon?
Good, thanks. How is everybody?
We are all well, and it's lovely to meet you. I actually haven't met you face to face yet, although I've been to your studios. I've been to CDW, and I've had a lovely tour from your employer Zoe, I think, who gave me a nice tour, and it was terrific to see. Simon, tell us a bit about what you do.
So I run CDW Studios, which is a school for visual effects and entertainment design, and we teach like drawing, painting, 3D modeling, 3D animation. All of those sort of areas. We're in a stage of like gigantic growth. So we've gone from an intake of 30 students to 60 students to 90 students to this year 120 students. So we've got nearly 400 full-time students at the school. And for like the last 3 years, we've done really good in the rookies. We've won it 2 years, 2017, 2018, and finished like top 6 or something in 2019. Our students are kicking out, world-class professional level work, which is pretty cool. We've had Alwyn teach at the school before, it's really cool to be here, and hopefully we can share lots of that information to the people you got coming in.
So Simon, at our next session in around about 25 minutes or less,
yep,
we're actually going to do a proper interview with you and find out a bit more about what you do in your role. And then you're going to give us a demo on Photoshop. Can you tell us a bit about what you're going to be doing?
Well, I've actually thought I could do something a little bit different in terms of I've got 3 demos and I've cut them down into 15 minutes because I thought we're online. So I thought, why don't I just show some really condensed version of some demos so I can kind of actually get from start to finish on a few things. And I'll show some stuff that we do kind of at the school as exercises. And then I've uploaded the full demos, which go for about 9 hours, into a Google Drive link, and all the attendees can have that. And they're fully narrated demos. So they'll be able to see the painting process from start to finish of 3 paintings.
That's very generous, and thank you so much, Simon. We're really going to enjoy that. Alwyn, can you tell us a bit more about your relationship with CDW and your connection with Simon?
Yeah, I mean, apart from the fact that we're sort of both based in Adelaide, and CDW has been one of the sort of the rising stars within the Australian education, particularly when it comes to illustration and concept. Like Simon mentioned before, they've won. Sorry, there was an echo. They've won School of the Year for concept and illustration 2 years in a row. So I mean, when he says that, like that's competing against the best schools in the world for this, and to win that accolade, like it's no easy feat. So to win it 2 years in a row, I don't know if anyone's seen The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, but that is just unheard of. So they're doing a great job. A lot of industry mentors come in, very good program, good lecturers, good networking system throughout the world. So fantastic courses, and great staff there as well.
Great, thank you very much, Alwyn. And of course, you're the one who introduced me to Simon and introduced me to CDW, and it was lovely to go and see the studios and see the work that the students are doing. Simon, just for your information, the people we're talking to right now are Adobe education leaders and Adobe campus leaders. So they're very active users of Adobe tools in high schools and universities around Australia, New Zealand, and into the Asia Pacific region. And if they're not with us live, they're actually watching the recordings of this. When we go into our Inject Creativity event in about 15, 20 minutes time, we'll be getting about 80 people from all over the region who are joining us from different sectors, who have just got an interest in Adobe, but not necessarily any expertise. You can have a whole range of different people there, which is going to be exciting. those people who are with us now live, and we've got about 13, which is nice because this is a nice small group before we get into our larger group later. Feel free to go into the chat pods of your Twitter, your Facebook, or your YouTube, and fire away any questions you might have for Simon, for Alwyn, for Joel, and we might bring those questions in, any comments. Jerry's keeping a close eye on everything that's happening in the comments section, and then we can use that to have a bit of a chat. While you're thinking of any questions you have for Simon and Alwyn, I'm just going to share my screen for the moment to go through a little bit of housekeeping for our AELs and our ACLs. So we'll just drop you guys from the screen at the moment. And what you should be able to see any second now is the first slide. Let's get this up into full screen mode. So welcome to our catch-up. Just to let you know, we're now up to 830,000 members, over 830,000 members of the Adobe Education Exchange, with 122,407 APAC members, nearly 40,000 ANZ members. We've had 4,776 new ANZ members just this year. And if you remember our little target, I was hoping for 6,000 members by the end of this year, and we're almost up to that now. Well, we're a fair way off it, but I want to thank you for driving attendance, driving membership, and driving how important the Adobe Education Exchange is as a professional learning portal. And keep doing that, because we're hopefully going to go way past that 6,000 target. A reminder that the Adobe campus leaders who are here now, your program will be folding very soon and being replaced by the Adobe Creative Educators program. And we want you to encourage lots of your colleagues to join this program. This is not a program for Adobe experts. This is a program for teachers who are passionate about digital creativity and want to learn more. So you might just be aware of the Spark tools at a basic level, and you might be interested in learning a bit more about Photoshop or about Premiere or about Rush. This is a great program for those teachers in the mainstream, not necessarily just the media teachers. So please encourage your colleagues to join this program. It will be launching in the beginning of July, but we do have a waiting list which has over 2,000 teachers already, and we're hoping to have about 5,000 teachers in this program by the end of the year. Adobe education leaders who are with us, just a reminder that this is our renewal period now. If you haven't already renewed, we'd like you to do that so that you can continue being an AEL for the next 12 months. And if you know anyone who you think should be an AEL, and particularly any ACLs who feel as though they're ready to make the next step up. The big difference between the two programs is that as an AEL, you're expected to have a network wider than just your school. So showing that you do social media, showing that you do networking, you do lots of tweets, that's an example of having a network wider than just your school. Having evidence of that is helpful in your submissions, and we encourage you to tap the shoulder of another AEL so that they can nominate you, because you do need to have someone else, an AEL or an Adobe employee, who's nominating you to become an Adobe education leader. I'd like to welcome 2 new AELs to our community who have just recently joined us. So Kesh is from Queensland. He's a senior digital solutions teacher at the Southport School in Queensland on the Gold Coast. And I've met Kesh on a few occasions. He's actually run a couple of workshops for us over there, and he's terrific, very dynamic educator, and it's great to have him on board. And I think if my sound effects are working, we're going to give him. Yes, Jerry.
I wanted to let you know, I think you're not sharing the right screen. So I've pulled it off, and maybe you can sort of check that again.
Well, that might just be, oh, okay. That's good to know. Let me just check. I'm just going to stop sharing. And this is all good practice for next week. So I'll just stop sharing and we'll start sharing again and see what happens. Thanks, mate. Let's see. And I've got 3 screens, and the one I think I'm sharing is screen 1. So I'll just bring that back up again. Tell me if you're seeing a slide that says Edu Summit. Is that coming up for you?
Yes, that's better.
Okay, thanks, mate. So I'll just track back one slide here just to welcome our AELs, Kesh and also James Rafferty from the University of Melbourne, and congratulate both of them on joining the program. They've both been involved as ACLs over the past year or two, or even 3, and it's lovely to see them graduate into our AEL program. So let's give them a round of applause. Well done, guys, and we'll look forward to working with you even closer over the next little while. Okay, let's jump into this. Now, this is the Adobe Education Summit, and it's a different type of summit this year. We're not going to be meeting face-to-face, it looks like. It's very, very doubtful. And even if we do get permission to use the Adobe office and fly to Sydney, a lot of us aren't going to take that risk, I'm sure. So we've decided to make this an online event, as we have with most of our major Adobe events for the rest of this year. In fact, Adobe Max will be an online event for the first time, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. So let's jump into the summit site. And if you haven't already registered, let me encourage you to do so. I'm just going to close down Outlook. You don't need to see that. And let's just jump into some of the features of this site. You should already know the dates: Tuesday the 29th of September to Thursday the 1st of October. That Tuesday is very much an AEL only event, and there for AELs, that's your registration link there. Anyone who's not an AEL, you can register through this link. Let's just quickly zip through because we went through this a couple of weeks ago, but the idea is the AEL day is going to have connections with America, where we're going to be linking with our AELs in America and our US team in the mornings. And then we're going to be doing some deep dives with our customer success managers and solution consultants in the afternoon. Just a day for the AELs. If you're not an AEL, you'll be more than welcome to join us on the next day, Wednesday, the 30th of September. And it again will be connecting with the US team and US AELs. In fact, we're going to invite some US AELs to run some creative catalyst talks for us. That's the advantage of going online. We can get all these extra connections from around the world. And then in the afternoon, we'll be doing our own creative catalyst talks and some breakout workshops with our solution consultants and each other, learning from each other. The Thursday, the 1st of October, is going to be a Creative Challenge Day, and this will be for AELs, but also for the new Adobe Creative Educators. And you'll choose, do you want to do your program on Spark, on XD, or on Premiere Rush? You choose what platform, and then we'll be setting you a challenge to work with. We'll be giving you a criteria based on a suggested how you're going to work with a team on this. You could be working with people who are in all parts of the world on this, well, all parts of the ANZ world anyway, probably, or the APAC world. And it'll be interesting to see how you can collaborate in a team, even though you're going to be working online, for our big showcase event at 4 o'clock that afternoon. There will be prizes, and we'll make sure they're good ones too. So if you want to know more about what happens at a summit, that video is worth playing in your own time. And just a reminder, AELs, you have a separate registration link to everybody else. Getting back to our slides, a reminder, the Adobe Rewards program has, I think it says 70 days. No, I think that's an old slide. So less than 70 days left to submit. And we are encouraging you to submit a video about how you're making an impact in digital creativity at your schools. We're looking forward to giving you a major prize. Sadly, it won't be a trip to Max this year. We're hoping that we'll be able to continue that for next year, but it's still, we've got the budget, we need to spend it. It'll be a $5,000 prize for the winner. And then there's an iPad for second place, and then there's merchandise for third place. So just a reminder to get involved in the Adobe Rewards program for ANZ. Also, we've updated our Edu chats recently, and the most recent one is an interview with Paul McLean from New Zealand. Fascinating guy, education consultant, has got some really good things to say about education and where we're heading, and he's become a bit of a thought leader in that area in New Zealand. Love you to listen to that interview at some point if you get a chance. Kevin Cummins is an ACL. He works in the Catholic system in Victoria, in regional Victoria, also doing some amazing work with his 60 schools. Worth having a listen to that. A lot of people would know Ross Johnson, who's an AEL in New South Wales with the Department of Education, and it's nice to catch up with him as well. And I think I've already mentioned some of the other interviews that are there in past results. But when you get a spare moment, these chats are well worth having a look at. If you've got young children who are still at home, or you're wanting to encourage a bit more digital creativity at home for those students who are still at home, this is a nice site. Every week we're bringing up a new activity for you. So the bit.ly Adobe-KBC, and you can see what the new activities are each week for them. Now, the final announcement from me is that this is our last catch-up in this format. We will be doing other catch-ups, but they'll be more relaxed in a Blue Jeans environment where we can see each other, we can chat to each other, and that's probably more appropriate for our catch-up. But what's happening next week is our first chat show in this format, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on Twitter, 6:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time next Wednesday. Please not just get involved yourself, but let your colleagues know about it. We do the chat show with the presenters for the first half hour, like what we're doing now, and then we'll move into a Blue Jeans room for a deeper dive, but not for a 2-hour session, for a 1-hour session. So we've got 3 presenters tonight because we've got a 2-hour session. We'll only have the 1 co-host presenter for us in the future, starting at 6:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. So get involved and please share this with your networks. All right, that's it for the slides and the housekeeping. Jerry, just wanted to check if there's any comments, questions, thoughts that have come up through the program. Let me just stop sharing. That'll look a bit better. And let's bring everyone back into the room. We've got 5 minutes before we're going to wrap things up and move into our Blue Jeans room. Anything come up, Jerry?
There's just been a few comments, a lot of hellos, and people getting sort of used to the new format. No, I think there hasn't really sort of been much in terms of questions.
No questions for Alwyn, no questions for Simon or Joel?
There was one question on Facebook from Metal Dog Apps, just wanting to know if the Alwyn session will be recorded. So I did mention, yes, most of the sessions will be recording in small chapters.
Yep, absolutely. That's for when we get started. In about 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes, we'll be all moving to the Blue Jeans room for the deeper dive. Good. All right. Well, this gives me an opportunity now to maybe just have a little bit of a chat with a few of the presenters that are here. We've already found out what they will be presenting for us tonight. But let's start with Joel again. Joel, just if the people didn't see your EduChat, that was a fascinating insight as to what it's been like in the COVID-19 situation, being not just a teacher, but also being a parent and how you're managing all of that. Maybe just give us an update on how things have been going in Victoria.
Well, we've only just started going face-to-face. So I hear on the news that there has been, I think there was an outbreak in New South Wales or something like that. They've been doing face-to-face a tiny bit longer than us. It's been going pretty well from my perspective. From a parent's perspective, I'm finding that my daughter, who is really, so grateful, she's such a compliant child and really wanting to do her best, she is absolutely exhausted by 12 o'clock. And she's really struggling to get through the work. And what I'm finding is that the schools, I'm not going to mention her school, but the schools that do what they're doing, which is trying to copy as much as possible the classroom experience into home learning. In other words, giving them the same amount of work with the same kind of expectations, except it's all on computer or devices. And when we're talking about young kids, it's a really big ask. It's too big, in fact. The expectations should not be as high as they would be if you were in the classroom with them. In fact, I think you will probably find that the reports coming out this semester will be very sketchy when it comes to term 2, because the thing is, we can't really tell what the kids have done themselves or how much they've had help or anything like that. So there's that sort of factor in it as well. But there are a lot of positives that have come out of home learning as well. So once this is all over, I think all schools or all institutions will really be sort of unpacking how it all went and the good and the bad, and perhaps there will be more home learning voluntarily. I know that some students have really thrived. So yeah.
Great, Joel. Thanks, mate. And it's we really appreciate the work that you've been doing. And it must have been an interesting time when the students started to come back. The little ones came back in Victoria this week, didn't they? So what was the feeling like when they arrived?
They were pretty excited, and the teachers were excited. I think the parents were absolutely over the moon. So I think generally everyone was pretty happy. Speaking for myself, I'm glad to be back at school and glad to be in front of the kids and feeling like, you know, this is what I want to be doing. I want to be face to face with the kids, obviously. The really little ones actually surprised us. We thought there'd be a lot of tears coming back, especially the foundation kids who have only had, you know, you have to think about only one term of school before everything went to hell in a handbasket. And we thought it'd be a real struggle to get them out of the cars. And you know, the parents aren't allowed to actually be on school grounds. So we actually have to have a whole bevy of teachers, whatever the collective noun is, a whole bevy of teachers at the front escorting kids from the road to the classroom and that sort of thing. No one's allowed to play in the playground until break time. All this sort of stuff. No drinking fountains are allowed to be used, that sort of thing. And the kids are managing really well. Really impressed.
There you go. Just going to bring in Lee Hauser has just brought in a comment for us as a distance education teacher. That is the message we gave to Queensland teachers. You can't replicate a face-to-face classroom online. That's so true.
You can't, and you should not. Absolutely.
And of course, Lee was also one of my Edu Chat sessions, and I deliberately chose her because she's been teaching distance education for many years and has lots of wisdom in that. Jerry, I'm going to get you to review that question that's just come up from a Facebook user. I'm not sure who it is, whether we can bring that up, but we are going to be moving to our Blue Jeans room very soon. If you think that it's worth bringing up, we might have 30 seconds to answer it. Might be a question for Alwyn or for Simon. Alwyn, you're a parent too. What's been happening in South Australia with your kids?
Probably the same as what's been happening with Simon, actually. Yeah, I mean, our kids have been back at school now for a couple of weeks, and really it's just echoing what Joel said. You know, I think, you know, it was all fun and games for the first few weeks, and then as soon as the online stuff kind of hit home, trying to get two boys to focus for a day it just wasn't happening. So I think, I mean, the good thing here, you know, they were quite flexible, and they completely understood. They, you know, took on the feedback that parents were giving. So, you know, we had to, fortunately, I, you know, work from home anyway. So it was just about, you know, a balance of getting them outside, playing, doing a bit of learning, and just breaking it all up, because it's just, yeah. But I'm sure Simon had the same issues with his kid. Although your kids are a little bit older than mine. So, yeah, but it's all good. They're back. They're loving life.
That's great.
I'm loving life.
Well, we're going to find out more about Simon very soon. I've just brought into the banner now the link to get into our Blue Jeans room. There was a question. It was a fairly lengthy one, but I think that question can be posed in our next session. A lot of it was to do with Mixamo. A lot of it was to do with 3D rigging. And some of those questions can be answered by our experts, Simon and Alwyn, when we jump into the Blue Jeans room. We had about 80 registered. I'm not sure how many people are now sitting there waiting for us to join them, but let's move now out of this space into our Blue Jeans room, and we'll reconnect again together then. And thank you so much, everyone who's been watching this live, and we'll look forward to catching up with you again very soon. And make sure you join us next Wednesday at 6:30 for our next chat show, which will be a proper chat show with our other guests. And we've got Rashan, who's an education consultant in Brisbane, who's joining us, as well as Dr. Bronwyn Wade-Lewin, who's going to be joining us as well next week. It's going to be a fantastic session. Look forward to seeing you then. All the best. And thanks, guys. We'll see you very soon in Blue Jeans. Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.